And China's ambassador to Kenya says China is ready to negotiate a trade deal with the East African community as the superpower looks to address complaints that the six-nation East Africa trade bloc is operating huge trade imbalances in favor of the Asian country. Well, China has become one of the biggest trade partners for many East African countries, but their exports to the world's second biggest economy are dwarfed by imports of manufactured goods like electronics and plant equipment.
According to Kenya officials, the government is not ready to discuss a free trade agreement as it fears a surge of imports from China, but that a partial deal might be possible. However, Chinese Ambassador Wu Peng says Beijing is ready to open trade talks with Kenya via the EAC, which also includes Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi and South Sudan, guided by World Trade Organization rules.
Africa has the capacity and the ability to reach their self-reliance development. We, as a foreigner or as a friend and partner, just want to give them assistance, of course, under the request of Africans.
Ambassador Wu added that the development of Kenya's industrial base could help cure its trade imbalance. Kenya imported goods worth 370.8 billion shillings from China last year, while exporting just 11.32 billion shillings of goods there. Nairobi wants to export more farm products like avocados to China. The two nations have completed a protocol opening up frozen avocado exports to China, but exports of fresh avocados are still blocked due to biosafety concerns.
I have the confidence, and as a Chinese ambassador, I'm pushing it very hard. But maybe just need some time, or need more scientific exchange or assistance to Kenya farmers how to prevent this kind of bugs.
Also has a TV, right?
The Kenyan government has borrowed from China in recent years to build roads and railways and is part of China's Belt and Road Initiative aimed at upgrading land and maritime trade routes between China and Europe, Asia and Africa. But it has indicated it is not ready for a free trade deal yet.
So this is more about the country going beyond the short-term political interests to start looking at its position as a regional economic powerhouse that it also has interests to protect. Otherwise, then without that, you'll get our neighbors that have better policies. We've seen Ethiopia taking advantage, where they will say we need industrial base set in Ethiopia, and then you see Ethiopia becoming a growing economic power.
Officials at Kenya's Trade and Industrialization Ministry said Nairobi feared a free trade agreement with China would lead to a surge of imports. They say the government was seeking a preferential, non-reciprocal trade deal, giving Kenyan exports duty-free access to China. Such a scheme could be modeled on the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, which allows African exports like apparel and textile duty-free access to the U.S. market.
But I think what we need is policies beyond just the politics. And the policies would then regulate how Kenya or the East Africa region interacts with China as far as even infrastructure development is concerned, the knowledge transfer, the technological know-how, because without clear policies, obviously then of course China can always bring their experts to fix things, and then they go away, and then when things go bad, again we have to call the Chinese.
Beijing has regularly fended off criticism. It is only interested in resource extraction to feed its own booming economy, that the projects it funds have poor environmental safeguards, and that too many of the workers for them are flown in from China rather than using African labor.